Hello and welcome to Razzmatazz with Rashi. Today we have with us Rajeev Moothedath with his new poetry book. After retiring from the corporate world, he has found his passion in corporate training and writing. And in this episode, you'll get to know a lot more about him and his life. But before moving forward, I would like to tell the audience that at the end of this episode, there'll be a question, and you'll get the answer in this episode itself. So if you write the correct answer in the comments below, you will stand a chance to win the mega prize at the end of the season. So watch this episode, and this contest is open only to the subscribers. So subscribe before you participate. Welcome, Rajeev. It's lovely to have you on my show.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to have this interaction with you, Rashi.
Tell us something about yourself to the new audience here.
Yeah. Basically, I'm basically from Kerala, and I'm now settled down in Bangalore. So I have been working in both public and private sector companies. I started out in public sector.
Okay.
I worked in VISL Bhadravati. Then it's a part of SAIL, so they transferred me to the north.
Okay.
From there, then I worked in BML Limited. Then finally, towards the end, I worked for JSW Steel and Hyundai Motor India Limited, the car company.
Yeah.
So I retired from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how come this book happened? Like, tell us more about your writing and your books.
Okay. So about this book, this particular book.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you about this book. It is, see, this came as a part of our this blog chatter.
Yeah.
So blog chatter, they have some kind of a carnival. They have first one A to Z. You write
Challenge,
something and all that. So last year I participated in that, and I brought out a book based on that. But this year I was traveling. As you know, I'm now in Australia. I came to visit my sons. So since I was traveling, I said I'll write only five liners.
Okay.
This time. That's not sufficient for a book.
Yes.
So what happened was, because I wanted to bring out this book, on those lines, I also wrote a few paragraphs.
Yeah.
So that is why if you see the title of my book is, it's called like this: 26 verses and 26 prose notes on 26 lofty topics.
Okay. And even the format of the book is very interesting. Like you have a short verse and then it's followed by a prose note.
If you say lofty topics, if you see the subjects,
yeah,
aspiration, bliss, compassion, delight, God, karma, natural, open-minded. I'm not reading all of them, just some of them. Patient versus restraint. This is a very interesting thing. I thought I would, since we have less time, I will not be reading from that. But this is all some interesting new things I try to bring into this book. Then sleep. Sleep is one thing which we ignore, especially people like you. I don't know whether you are in IT and other places.
Yeah.
So young people. You think the area you can compromise easily is the sleep part, but we now know that it's a very, very important part.
Yeah, definitely.
So that then trust. So these are some of the areas which I've
covered. So you have covered all 26 topics in this book.
26, on each alphabet I have written
that's interesting.
Words and also written notes on that.
Okay. And you said that you also have 3 different blogs. So that's right. Like what content do they have? Tell us more about them.
Yeah, actually, I first wrote a profession on my profession, because I'm a HR person. Yeah, I was heading the learning and development in Hyundai.
Okay.
Similarly, I was heading HR in different areas, in different companies. So my professional experience, in fact, I've written books also. My first book was on my professional experience. So how it happened was, one of my blog is exclusively prose HR.
Oh, that's nice.
That is what I want.
Yeah, sharing all your knowledge in that.
Yeah. So my first book came out of that. My blogs, I just rearranged it, gave it some kind of a title and something, and then it became a book. So
yeah, that's always a good idea to write on your blog and then compile them, and you can come up with a nice book.
That's the idea. Yeah. So after that, where was I?
Your
So
second
I
blog.
was just, where did I go? I think somewhere I was,
You're
the
talking about
flow
your
was,
blogs, the 3 blogs that you have.
blog. So that's the
Yeah.
first blog. The
Mhm.
second blog is to write about general stuff, not
Okay.
professional. So
Mhm.
both lines and prose, but mainly I write lines because since I write a lot of prose for this,
Okay. Mhm.
so I am writing more of poetry in that one. It's
Mhm.
called Lines and Verses, Rajivian Lines and Verses.
Okay.
Blog. So there, but I write more of poetry and less of some little bit of story, some interviews. I
Okay.
interview interesting people now and then. I do
Mhm.
that. I write
Nice.
some review of books. So
Yeah.
these are the ones which are prose. The remaining it's
Mhm.
all poetry.
Okay.
And the third one, yeah, the third blog is exclusively corporate poetry. So I
Oh,
have one
nice.
blog for corporate
Yeah.
prose and
Mhm.
one blog exclusively for corporate poetry.
That's a lot of content that you're creating.
Yeah. But the corporate poetry wala thoda sa, it's in the back burner nowadays because now I'm not active there.
Still
So
working on it. Yeah.
I'm mainly no. I was writing earlier quite a bit.
Okay.
Now that
Mhm.
I've retired and I'm focusing on these two blogs, so I'm
Yeah,
writing less. But it is there. It is
definitely.
very much in functioning.
So how did writing happen? Like when did you start writing, or when was the first time you wrote something?
That's a very interesting question. The
Yeah.
first time I wrote was when I was in the fifth standard.
Okay, nice.
What happened was there was some free period was there.
Mhm.
School you get some free hours. So I just sat there and I didn't know what to do. I started jotting down, scribbling something. The
Okay.
class teacher came and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "No, ma'am, I'm just writing." So she took it. Then she went and did a lot of things with it and gave it back to me, and I didn't like it because it was no longer my poem. It was something else.
So the first
But
thing you
that was
wrote was a poem.
no, yeah, it was a poem. Yes.
Okay, so you're more inclined towards poetry.
It's not like that. I'm comfortable with both.
Okay,
If
that's
you
nice.
ask me to choose and all that, no, I
Yeah,
have no choice. I like both.
that's nice.
So after I wrote that, see, in school we had a lot of other opportunities for
Mhm.
writing. We
Yes.
have something called a manuscript magazine.
Yeah, magazines and all come up.
Each class, the
Mhm.
school organizes that every class bring out a magazine.
Mhm.
It will be written by hand. That means we will all contribute, but the
Yeah.
best handwriting guy will
Oh,
write it down.
nice.
Yeah. And each class will give their magazines, and that will be compared. And they will
Okay.
give for each middle school best
Mhm.
magazine. That is, say, fifth,
Okay.
sixth, seventh, best.
Mhm.
The, ninth, 10th, 11th, like that. High
Yeah,
school, middle. So we used to contribute our poems,
poems
articles,
and
and all.
all. Yes. And then
So
how
that's
did
how I,
the corporate thing happen? Like you were saying, you are very passionate about corporate training. So what do you do in that?
yeah, corporate training. Yeah. So
Yeah.
wherever I worked, so I told you I worked in both public sector and the private sector. So
Mhm.
even as I was working, I was an internal faculty for many programs.
Mhm.
In two of these companies, I was heading the learning and development. So
Okay.
automatically chances. Like
Yeah.
in Limited, I was heading
Mhm.
learning and development.
Yeah.
And finally, in Hyundai also I was doing it. In other places, I was heading HR in some
Mhm.
divisions,
Yeah.
units, and all that. So I had a lot of this experience, but I was also loved this teaching, this training.
Yeah.
So I never,
Mhm.
whenever I got the opportunity. So after I retired, I continued that. So I went on in a more serious manner,
Okay.
and so I take programs for a number of
Mhm.
companies. I don't say I'm not hard selling. I have
Uh-huh.
retired, so I have
Yes.
limited clientele, and I work on that.
Okay.
So I focus on. I mean, you wanted to know what I focus on, mainly on soft skills,
Okay.
communication,
Yeah. Mm.
communication skills, leadership skills.
Yeah.
Only thing I try to bring in some new kind of content. For example, you might have heard something called emotional freedom technique.
Mhm.
It's a powerful
Okay.
technique for stress management.
Yeah.
It's a
Much
tapping
important.
technique. It's a tapping technique which I've incorporated for stress management.
Okay.
I'm trying to bring in the law of attraction concepts for
Mhm.
motivation, self motivation, and group motivation.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yeah.
So how do you
So
conduct the training? Like you have online or you physically
uh,
meet with people?
before COVID, it was all directly.
Yeah.
But during
COVID has
COVID,
changed
I did,
everything.
yeah. After COVID, I did some online programs
Online
also.
training also. Okay.
Apart from this, I do a little bit of teaching also, MBA
Mhm.
students.
Oh, nice.
There are two good colleges
Mm.
in Bangalore. We have
Okay.
Welling is there in Bombay
Yes.
also. It's there in Bangalore. So
Yeah.
I'm based out of Bangalore actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I do it for Wellinger in Bangalore
Mm-hmm.
and Christ, no, not Christ,
Christ
sorry,
College.
not Christ College. No, I've gone as a visiting faculty.
Okay.
Actually, this program I had done for this one. क्या बोलते हैं that this Xavier's
Xavier's
Xavier,
College. Okay. Mhm.
yeah, in Bangalore.
Yeah.
XIMI, XIME,
Mhm. Okay.
XIM.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you're doing so many
So
things, a lot of things like training and teaching. So when do you get the
I
time for
just
writing?
I want to keep myself busy.
Yeah, that's
You
good.
know, all your problems start because you say I have nothing to do.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely. After you retire, you have so much time in your hand.
uh,
You don't really know where to spend the time.
an idle mind is a devil's workshop. This is. So I
Yeah,
have no
definitely.
idle time. I
Yeah.
do writing, I do blogging, I do teaching. So this keeps me busy.
Yeah, definitely. So much to learn from you.
Thank you.
What are you planning now? Your future plans? Are you writing more books or more poetry or
See, I can write a book anytime because
yeah?
it's all there in my blogs. You know, I can take out. For example, I have done number of interviews.
Mhm.
I can take out all the interviews of different genres. Like
Yes.
I have interviewed HR people. I
Mhm.
have interviewed poets. I have
Mhm.
interviewed somebody who is a finance person.
Yeah.
So I can just take out all that. I can make a book which will
Yes.
be a
Different
very
personalities will come out.
altogether. Because people have similar kind of people. I'll have one with, I have even one with a doctor
Mhm.
who wanted to do a, who wanted to do one time short film.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
acting. I
Yes.
interviewed the
People have
doctor
hidden
as well.
passions.
Yeah. No, she did it because uh, it was a part of that. It is about somebody throwing acid on the faces of
Yes. On
so
that topic.
again. Yeah, it was
Mhm.
on that. So she played the role of an acid victim,
Okay.
although she's a
Mhm.
doctor. It was all done by doctors.
Oh,
It was a
nice.
work of doctors.
Yeah. More of spreading awareness
Yeah, it
on
was
those
more of that.
topics. Yeah.
So
Good.
I interviewed her. I
Mhm.
mean, how did a doctor end up there and all that?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is I can do the review. The reviews I have done that can become a
Yes.
book, you know,
The reviews are
or
like
my
for like book reviews or what reviews are you
book
doing?
reviews,
Book
book
reviews.
reviews,
Okay. Mhm.
book reviews. So
That's
recently
nice.
also, yeah, you are asking which are in this blog chat or
Yes. What are the books that you're reading now? I was coming to that.
yeah. Actually, what happened was because I'm traveling. Otherwise, normally I read much more of these books,
Mhm.
especially this carnival books.
Yeah.
But this time I have read two books only.
Okay.
One is yeah, and the third one I'm just reading it.
Yeah.
So in fact, I noted down which are the books I'm reading. One book is Realized Inner Voice by
Mhm.
Richa Nevata.
Okay.
Then Second
I think
Innings
that is
by
also a
Nir.
poetry book by Richa.
That's also a poetry book.
Yes.
Another book called Second Innings by Nirja Bhatnagar.
Uh-huh.
That's a book
Okay.
because she's giving a lot of tips for people like me, those who have retired.
That's nice.
See what I'm doing. She has prescribed that and more.
Yeah, that's good.
How you can remain. So I felt that very interesting. I enjoyed reading that
Mm.
book. The
Okay.
third book I'm presently reading is Humpty Dumpty's 10 Hats by
Mhm.
Tom Mitchell McKicken. Now,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell is one person I know very well as a blogger.
Okay.
He writes very well, but
Yes.
normally he writes articles. So this is interesting
Mm.
because he has short stories.
Yeah.
So
He has come with
I
stories
would
this
like to
time.
know. And interestingly, he has written some ghost stories and all that. So I just started that.
Good. That's a
I
nice
want to,
recommendation from you.
yeah,
So would you like to read something from your book?
certainly.
Yeah.
So I'll read the. See, I told you I've written on different
Mhm.
subjects. So here I wanted to read on bliss.
Mhm.
Bliss is different from just happiness. It's
Mhm.
something more than
Okay.
that. So First, the five liners, some poetry, and followed by this. How much longer will we, me, you, all of us, continue searching, looking for it all over the place outside, when all we need to do is to feel the divine bliss deep inside? As we experience the deep connect with all beings, universe, what? To each his, her own time, you say. I agree.
Nice.
These are the few lines. So I'll just read the text.
Yeah.
Bliss is a lot more than happiness. The dictionary describes bliss as supreme happiness, utter joy, or contentment. We can, by reading the definition, know that bliss does not come merely from external achievements, be it worldly possessions or societal recognition. To attain it, we need to go deep inside and feel it from within. As you go deeper inside, you experience the connect with the whole of nature and all beings. Duality disappears, and one enters into the state of bliss. Of course, this is easier said than done. Depending upon our basic nature, connecting with the whole can be difficult for most and easier for some. Hence, the need to take baby steps, to search and find the connect within by various means, be it meditation, immersing in music, dance, poetry, or spending time with nature. We need to be wary of trading bliss for mere happiness as we have known it. When on the right path, it doesn't matter when we will reach the goal of bliss. Some may get it a little earlier, but we could be satisfied in the confidence that we will all reach there, as bliss is our basic nature and we would be one with it. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's really nice. Yeah. And I would tell the audience that Rajiv has written on various topics in this book, and we'll share the link for this download in the description of this video. But the question for you today is that how many topics are there in this books? It's very easy. You can get that in the title itself. So comment with your correct answers and you can win the mega prize at the end. So thank you so much, Rajiv. It was really nice talking to you and having you on this show.
It was a pleasure, Rashi. So nice talking to you.